Have you ever found yourself downplaying your power in order to make someone else feel comfortable? This could be a family member, this could be in a romantic relationship, this could be at work, this could be in a queue in the line when you're buying your groceries. We are ashamed or feel guilt around shining our light bright. And this can happen on a more subconscious level where it's just automatically happening, and then later on you kind of question yourself, why did I do it that way? I should have said it this way, or I should have said what I was really feeling. Or some of us, what we do is we just hold on to that feeling, and we feel like a little bit inferior. This quote, it always shows up, especially in my one-to-one sessions, where we are afraid of our own power. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that we are most afraid of. This is something that I rarely see all the time, even with myself. Okay. Now, obviously now I've been able to travel all over the world. Like right now I'm in Paraguay, and I'm just on the rooftop here in Paraguay. It's beautiful out here in Paraguay. We just met someone at the cafe, had a conversation with them. And this guy was from Spain and he does crypto and stuff like this. I'm able to travel the world. I'm able to help people manifest the life of their dreams, find their inner authority. And I always find, in my sessions, that people are afraid to be the person that they want to be, because subconsciously they are afraid to be someone different. Subconsciously they are afraid to show up as that powerful, strong version of themselves. And so we have these labels like strong, powerful, but for me, I don't really necessarily relate with them. I'm just using those words to relate with you. And that we have this idea that we need to become someone totally different from ourselves. Or if I become this person, maybe people are going to take money from me, or maybe people are going to treat me differently. Maybe my family or my friends are going to treat me differently. And so we tend to hold back from saying that thing that we need to say, asking that question that we need to ask, pursuing that goal that we need to pursue, because then you might feel like you're minimizing other people's lives. And many years ago, when I had one of my YouTube channels, I grew it to 230,000 subscribers. Prior to doing that, I had this strong limiting belief, okay? And the strong limiting belief that I had around making people feel comfortable was that, you know what? I'm jealous. Right? I am jealous of the successful YouTubers. Why is it that they are able to attain a certain level of success and manifest? I feel like my videos are good. I feel like my content's good. I feel like I put out content consistently. Why are they seeing more traction than me? And so the narrative that my brain was having also was that maybe it's because I'm black. Maybe it's because the color of my skin, people are not gonna watch my videos as much as someone who is Caucasian or white, right? And in some cases this is true, but that's the direction that my brain was running through, okay? And so I started to look into it, like, why am I thinking this way? What's making me believe, or what's making me feel like I'm jealous? Why am I jealous of other people's success on YouTube? Okay. And so I started to look into it, and I was thinking, wow, imagine that I become successful on social media, on YouTube, and I start to grow my social media. I'm getting thousands of followers and subscribers, and I'm transforming people's lives. What if this actually happens? And guess what the subconscious belief was when I really dug into it? It was that actually, if I attain that level of success, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on me. And that means people are going to be now jealous of me, right? So me in my current state, I'm jealous of other people's success, right? So if now I become successful, other people are going to be jealous of me, right? So it's kind of weird. It kind of ties into making people feel comfortable. Yes, people are going to be jealous of you. Yes, people are going to think of you in a certain way. Oh, you're too much like this, or your energy is like this, and I don't like this, and I don't. That's the way life is. For people that are empathic, we have to learn to create contrast. That the more that you step into your energy, the more that you step into your template and who you are, your inner authority. Once you step into your power, the more that people are not going to like you, period. But the people that do like you are going to love you, and they're going to really, because you're representing who they are as a person as well, and you're giving them permission to shine their light too, right? So what happens is, yes, you push away a lot of people, but you also attract the people that are aligned with your soul, aligned with your spirit, aligned with your inner authority. So what is inner authority? I've spoken about this in my other videos. People will think that inner authority is just like this bravado, confidence, or anything like this. It's not nothing like that. Okay, inner authority is knowing who you are on an ego-based level, but knowing who you are on a spiritual-based level as well. I advise that people start to write down or think about who they actually are on an ego-based level. Like, what am I good at? What are my qualities? What do I bring to the table in a relationship? What do I bring to the table at my job, at my work, right? And just learning who you are on that level is so powerful when you do that, because we often forget about all the progress that we've made in life, all the changes. And when you reflect on it on a daily basis, you start to build inner authority on the ego-based level, right? So when you walk into a situation and you go to it gets a little bit confrontational, or there's a little bit of a debate or whatever it is, you're allowed to stay in your inner authority and say what you need to say, talk about what you need to talk about without going into your empathy and understanding. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that you're able to have that empathy and compassion, but at the same time, you're able to stay grounded in who you are and say what you need to say and talk about what you need to talk about, right? Rather than dwindling and like kind of, what's that word? When you're molding to someone else's narrative. And the more that I'm building my inner authority, the more that actually, I'm standing firm in this, even if it's uncomfortable, right? I know my truth, and this is my truth, and I'm going to stand firm in it. And I think many empaths and spiritual people need to do this more, right? And maybe you'll agree with me when I say that. The next part is knowing who you are on a spiritual level. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, you are not your ego. You are not your mind. You're not your brain. You're not your narratives. You're not your stories. You're not your beliefs. You're not your identities. You're not anything, right? You are no identity. And that is the best identity. When you have no identity, when you realize that you are no identity, that is the best identity. Even me saying that it's the best identity is also my ego saying it's the best identity. But what I want to kind of share with you is like, you're going back into source. You're going back into God. You're going back into the Most High. You're going back into the universe, the cosmos, whatever name or label that you like to use. You're back in your truth, your real truth, and you're operating from the highest vibrational frequency. And this is where I tell people to manifest their realities from, is not from the ego-based level and trying to, I teach people how to manifest from the ego-based level, but to bring it to God, right? Bring it to the universe, bring it to this place where you're beyond the mind, right? However, we have to realize that we need to work with the inner authority of beyond our thinking, because the mind and the brain is limited, right? So the unlimited self is not thinking, oh, I need to dim my power in this situation because it's going to make other people feel small, right? Do you see what I mean? This inner authority, once you realize it, you can start to integrate it into the ego, and you will realize that you don't need confidence. You don't need to have self-esteem. You don't need to have self-worth and feel like enough, because none of that stuff exists. It only exists because of the ego. It only exists because the external reality has told you otherwise, right? It only exists because the external reality has told you to measure yourself, right, in comparison to other people, right? And we can even compare ourselves to ourselves, who we was last year compared to this year. Maybe in some cases you was like I was feeling really good at this point in my life. I felt more confident. I felt more certain. I had a relationship. I had the money. And now I feel like I'm not as good. We can compare ourselves so much in so many ways. And this is just the narrative of the brain. This is just the ego playing its game and trying to make you feel small. It's the DVIL. It is the opposition of truth. Okay. And it's my belief that in order for us as spiritual ones to come here on planet Earth, there was a rule set by the opposition that we need to have an ego that can be programmed and manipulated in such a way that you keep on coming back here over and over and over again. But I think we're supposed to come back here. It's my belief that we're supposed to come back here to raise the vibration and not continually come back again and again. Okay. So how do we transition out of this? Practicing every day, remembering who you are on an ego level, practicing every day, knowing who you are on a spiritual based level, that you are not the body, you are not the mind. Your truth is beyond the narrative of the brain, the ego, the belief system, the identity, right? You are not that, okay? You are the inner authority that can see that, right? That is aware of that, that is presence with that, right? That's where the power comes in, and that's where your life will begin to transform. So it's taking the steps to do that on a daily basis, and you'll see your power will begin to come back. In fact, I created a training below this video to start removing those subconscious patterns anyways, like self-doubt and fear, to instantaneously raise your vibration so you can actually pursue your goals and transform your life. Okay, I put the link in the description for you if you want to check that out. That's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.